today's video is going to be a very exciting first impressions. Get ready with me on the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette. Y'all know I was going to pick this up, okay? I have been waiting for Natasha Denona to release a midi-sized neutral palette like this, and as soon as I saw this, I'm like, this is so pretty. And it's already sold out on Sephora's website, so people wanted a neutral palette from her that was more affordable than the Biba palette, because I believe the last like neutral palette that she came out with, I'm just gonna put my hair up and start getting ready as I'm talking, but the last like really neutral palette that she released that was like a true neutral palette was the Biba palette. The My Dream palette is very neutral toned with a few pops of like mauvey purpley tones. Well, not mauvey, I would say like more berry purpley tones, and some like really fun, interesting multi-chromes in there, or one multi-chrome, I mean. But she hasn't really released a neutral palette in the midi palettes really at all. I would say the retro palette's pretty neutral as well, but with the retro palette and with the My Dream palette, you can go a little bit more deep and smoky and more sultry with those palettes. With this palette, I feel like this is like the first true neutral palette that she came out with in the midi size. So I'm just super excited to try it. And obviously people responded to it because it sold out. So and I was kind of super hesitant. Let's just talk about the palette first. I do have a couple new products to use with you guys as well, and I'm going to be doing a 2 looks video with this palette. So also, I was super hesitant about getting this on the Sephora website, because when Sephora delivers Natasha Denona palettes, I've seen a lot of people experience smashed palettes when they receive them, but this actually came in a separate own wrapped box inside the box that it got shipped in. So this was in a cardboard little box inside the actual Sephora box. So I was like, oh my god, thank god that they put a box. It was like cardboard sealed, and then under the cardboard sealed box they had like it wrapped in another layer of cardboard. So I was like, thank god that they wrapped this, because they probably don't want to hear people complaining about that. Literally, Sephora and Ulta are so bad about packaging. Like, they just literally throw shit in the box and like it gets so damaged like every single time. But with the last Natasha Denona palette I got it at Ulta for the Yucca palette, and I had a $15 off of $30 or more. So I got that at Ulta, because then I got the palette I think for like $50 rather than $70. So that was a good price. And then for this one, I ordered it through Sephora because I actually had $30 of rewards from my credit card rewards, because I've gotten so much stuff from Sephora lately. So I just used the $30 off to get this. So I paid like $42 instead of $70. So I thought it was worth it, and I wanted to use my points on this because it's a Natasha Denona palette. So this is what the palette looks like. Super, super beautiful. So we have 7 mattes, and the rest are super sparkly shimmers. So I believe there's 8 shimmers in this palette, which is kind of a lot for me. I kind of wish that there would have been maybe one more matte in here, and it kind of would have been a little bit more matte heavy with 8 mattes and 7 shimmers. That's kind of like my sweet spot with her palettes. Like with the My Dream palette and the Yucca palette, the Yucca palette only has 5 shimmers and 10 mattes, and the My Dream palette has, I believe, 6 shimmers and 9 mattes, I believe. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 9 mattes and 6 shimmers. So this one actually has the most shimmers, I think, of any midi palette that I own from Natasha Denona. I think even the Sunrise palette doesn't have as many shimmers, and neither does the Retro palette. I believe the Retro palette only has 6 as well. I just wanted to compare because I really just have been enjoying the color stories that Natasha Denona has been releasing lately. I've picked up her last 3 MIDI palettes at this point. I got the My Dream palette, the Yucca palette, and now I got this one. So she really is listening to her customer base and is releasing things that people actually want to see. And I think that Pat McGrath needs to take notes because people are responding to Natasha Denona's releases and they think that they're much more interesting. I've been seeing in the comments on Trend Mood and also on Sephora that people have really been enjoying Natasha Denona's color stories lately. So she's doing it. She knows exactly what she's doing. So first off, I want to talk about how beautiful this packaging is, and also this is a very weighty, substantial packaging that it feels like high end. So I'm just saying, like, she definitely does not cheap out with the packaging on these. And this feels like really nice quality. So I'm just super excited to dive into this palette today. So for what I'm going to use today, because I think I want to use more of the warmer mattes tomorrow. So I think I'm going to probably stick with the more neutral ones today. Or maybe the more grayish tones ones. I want to use Stone. Actually, Mesh is probably even later. We're going to start with Mesh, and then we're going to go into Stone. And then I'm going to use Silhouette on the outer corner. So let's do that. And then I think I know what shimmer I want to use today. But let's start off with Mesh, because I think that's a nice, more neutrally grayish tone. So let's go in with that. And that one is kind of lighter, and that can be a really good, like, everyday shade. But I will say that this one and the shade Fair are very light mattes. But I think that this shade Mesh would probably work well for medium skin tones as possibly a brow bone highlight. Fair is definitely going to be a great brow bone highlight for me. And also, since it's literally called Fair, it's like perfect for me. So yeah, I think I want to go into the pink shimmer today, but I'm definitely just going to be using this palette. I was going to wait to get to use this palette until tomorrow because I'm going out to dinner with my family and my brother's friend and one of my friends for my birthday dinner, because I didn't get to do, I usually always go out for my birthday. And my mom is always like, so what do you want to do for your birthday? She's like, are you going to be out? And then I was like, is it okay if we go out to dinner like Monday or Tuesday night? So we're going to do that tomorrow. It was supposed to be tonight, but then my brother couldn't go tonight, so we changed it to tomorrow. It was such a disorganized mess, but at least we finally set it in stone. So I was going to do that tomorrow. I was going to do the first impressions tomorrow, but then I was like, let's just do 2 looks with it because I really want to play with this palette. I don't want to make this clip too long, but I'm probably just going to do the eye look on camera tomorrow and then do the rest of my face off camera. But today there are a couple of new products that I want to show you guys. So hopefully the first half will only be like a half hour, but I'm only going to show you guys like the new products applied on camera. So, but I already know this clip is kind of long, so try not to talk too much. So yeah, I'm just going to finish blending this out. This is taking forever. Okay, so that took quite a bit of building, but also I feel like this shade is definitely darker on the eyes than it is in the pan, which is usually the case with Natasha Denona's mattes. Now I'm going to go into the shade Stone, and I'm going to build up some definition with that. Hopefully it'll define a little bit more. But it's it's definitely building some more depth. But they're kind of very similar lighter tones. So just keep that in mind, that there's not too much differentiation between these two colors. So these are kind of like super light crease shades, I would say. But there's not really that many deepening shades in here besides Vague, Silhouette, and Tender. So I would say like those are the only shades that you're going to get more depth and dimension with in the crease. But I kind of understand the concept of this palette is just basically the shimmers are the star of the show, which is usually the case for Natasha Denona's palettes. But also, I kind of wish that there would have been at least a little bit more deepening shades in this palette, because I kind of feel like Stone and Mesh are very similar to each other, that there's not really too much differentiation on the eyes. So now we're going to go into Silhouette, which is the dark brown shade. And that one is definitely going to give the definition that I want and the depth. And I always love like the darker, deep shades that Natasha Denona puts in her palettes, because she always puts at least one deepening matte so people can build up the definition if they want to, or for the outer corner shade. So I've always been like intrigued by the bronze palette and the glam palette. But with the bronze palette, I always thought it was too one note for me. I'm sure it would have been a beautiful palette. But when the retro palette came out and the My Dream palette, those were definitely more so my kind of color stories, because the bronze palette can be kind of repetitive. And with the glam palette is actually the most popular Natasha Denona palette. But I never really wanted to pick that one up because there was too many shimmers in it for me. For this palette, I feel like it is a better mix of mattes and shimmers, because the glam palette has like 10 not 10 mattes. If it had 10 mattes, I would have picked it up. It has only 5 mattes in it, and the rest are shimmers, and I just thought it was too shimmer heavy for my personal liking, so I never purchased that one. But I thought that this one was a better color story for me, so I'm just gonna build. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. So yeah, let me go put on some glitter glue real quick. Can I speak today? I'm so tired from this weekend because I did all my birthday stuff this weekend, so I'm a little tired. So yeah. Okay, so for the lid shade, I really want to go into the shade Mia. It's such a gorgeous, like, super sparkly shimmer. So that's the one I wanted to play with first, because I thought it was just such a stunning, sparkly, pinky shade. And I really like putting cooler tones with pinks. I mean, I don't do it often. Oh, that's so pretty. See, this is why I constantly go back to Natasha Denona. Natasha Denona really is the only mainstream brand that I get eyeshadow palettes from anymore. I really think her bar and her color stories are just beyond. And I really think that these other brands are just kind of eating her dust when it comes to the color stories that she comes out with. I mean, they're not anything new, but again, she just knows like how to appeal to her customer base, and there's not really that much competition out there when it comes to the eyeshadow palette game. Like, I haven't really seen another eyeshadow palette that I've been super into besides Natasha Denona's palettes that have come out basically in the past year. This is so nice on the lid. It also has a certain like creamy feeling to it when you put it on the lid. I don't know if that might just be the glitter glue that didn't absorb yet, but it's so nice. It feels so creamy. Oh my god, that's such a pretty sparkly shimmer. But also I started putting like cooler tones with pinks when I first got the Lust for Dusk palette by ColourPop. I had never combined like pink and gray before that. And then once I got that palette and there was a bunch of pink and grays in that palette, I was like, I didn't even realize like that pinks went together with grays. So now I do it a lot more often. And now I see that Natasha Denona does it too. So now I'm going to go into that shade Fair, and that's going to be my brow bone highlights. I don't know if this is a little dark, actually. It's supposed to be a bit lighter, but it's a bit more pigmented than I thought. But it might just be because I have a little bit of other pigment on my brush. I probably should have cleaned this, but it's not a big deal. It still like absorbs right into my brow bone, so it's not really that dark at all because it blends out. So yeah, that's a good color. So yeah, so far I really like it, and I think it built up just fine. I mean, I love Natasha Denona's formula, so I'm not really going to tell you guys anything different. So now we're going to go ahead and prime and clean up the eyeshadow, and then I do have a new foundation to show you guys. Okay, so for my foundation, I have the new Fenty Beauty Easy Drop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. This is not the first time I'm using this. I actually tried it a couple of days ago, but I want to give it another try, and I want to show you guys how it applies on camera. So I'm going to use this with, and this is the shade 1. So I'm going to use it with my Say Star Glow Super Gel Primer, because the first time I used it with the e.l.f. Putty Primer, which I've been loving, the new liquid one, I think it might have been a little bit more matte in the finish that way. I liked how it looked on my skin, but I wasn't like completely obsessed with it, with how people are making it sound, because I've seen Batty Bean use it, and also... No, not Batty Bean. What am I talking about? The Fancy Faced Angelica Nyquist and Makeup by Treens, and I trust their reviews like 100%, and I watch them all the time. But I just don't think I was that crazy about it initially the first time, but I also used it with the original Fenty Beauty concealer, which I feel like was a little bit too matte for this. So this is what it looks like. So I want to try it out again today. This is the Blur and Smooth Tint Stick in the shade 1, which is what I just said before. I always drop the stupid cap that's in here. I'm not in love with the cap in here. But anyway, this is what it looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it. I think what I'm going to do is just apply it by section, because I felt like it was a little bit too matte, but I don't know. I'm not like... It just looks so dry on my face. I'm not like in love with it. It like clings to my, like my red patches. So I don't know. I'm going to go in with a little bit more. And I do like it with a sponge, or maybe I should just blend it out with my fingers, because a lot of people have been using their fingers to blend it out, but I don't know. I just feel like it kind of just sits on top of my skin. And like... I don't know if it's just because of the condition of my skin right now. Like, it does look really pretty on camera, but... Oh my god, I need another tissue. I don't know why these tissues are so damp already. I like it. I just feel like it emphasizes, like, the texture on this side. I think the foundation that I used yesterday is a little bit old now. So it did cause a little bit of redness last night. But it should just be going like over that. So I'm just going to build it up slowly. But I do really like applying it that way. I just don't know if this foundation's for me, because I'm not like completely in love with it. Okay, that looks better. Maybe I just need to apply it gradually. Which isn't like the best thing if I'm like in a hurry or something like that, but yeah, it's fine. I do really like how it builds up like this. I just have to make sure that my sponge isn't as damp. And I don't like blending out stuff with my fingers because I don't think it looks smooth enough on me. But I actually really do like how this is looking. And I actually have a new concealer to use for you guys. I hope it's not too like full coverage for this because the Fenty Beauty one is kind of medium to full coverage. The concealer, but I'm actually really liking how this is looking on my skin more so than the first time I used it. I think it's because of the Save Primer as well. I just didn't love how it looked the first time. But again, I think it's because I used the Fenty Beauty concealer, and also I used it on the day I went to the beach. So let's just keep on applying it gradually. But I feel like my sponge has to be a little bit drier for this. Because if it's too wet, it kind of just absorbs the foundation too much. But that looks really good, actually. So I think I like it more so the second time. But I also feel like it kind of clings to my dryness on my nose, too. But, like, it looks good. I like how it looks. It looks very natural. Like, my skin looks really nice. But I definitely would not just wear this, and I would have to wear it with a concealer. Because, like, this is not enough, like, coverage for me. Some of the other, like, tinted moisturizers that I have, like the Tower 28, which is a light coverage tinted moisturizer. And then, because this is supposed to be like a tint stick, but it's definitely very lightweight, but I can kind of feel it on my skin a little bit. And I felt the same way when I tried it the first time, but then when I was finished with my makeup, it did look really pretty, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. Like, I wasn't really obsessed with the way it makes my skin look, and I think it's because it's more matte than what I like. Like with the Urban Decay Hydromaniac, that has more coverage, but it has such a beautiful finish on my skin. And then also, I forget what the other one is. Okay, I did not apply it to this side of my nose. So, keep on dropping the stupid cover too. Let's just go ahead and do that because that doesn't look good. But I don't know. I don't love how it looks on my nose either. But yeah, that looks better. Like, I definitely missed that part of my nose. Let's just do a little bit more here. Okay. That's better. I don't know. I'm not like in love with it. There's just like something about it that I'm not like obsessed with. And then after I saw everybody try it and love it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna love it too. But I think I prefer her liquid easy drop, which I freaking love, over this one. And I've tried a lot of Fenty's. I've actually tried every single foundation that Fenty Beauty has come out with. I tried the first one, which was way too full coverage for me. And then the hydrating one, I've never been really in love with. And then I tried the Easy Drop, and then that became my favorite. And now I've tried the new stick. So, but I wanted to try it because I haven't had a stick. I'm going to talk about the foundation a lot, sorry, but it's new. I haven't had, because I have a new concealer to try with you guys, and I have to talk about that concealer, and I'm so excited to try it. But, and I'm not completely obsessed with my eye look. It's pretty, but I don't know if I necessarily am in love. But it's pretty, though. But I'm not like, oh my god, it's amazing. But I don't know. I'm usually like way more into Natasha Denona's palettes and looks. But this one is like, it's very naturally pretty, but not like completely obsessed with it. The same thing with the foundation. But anyway, I haven't had a stick foundation in my collection for a long time. So that's why I wanted to try this new stick foundation. And again, since everybody was like, oh, it's really, really good, I really wanted to try it. But I don't know if I'm obsessed with it. So anyway, the new concealer I want to go in with is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer in the shade 120. So I have been waiting for Makeup by Mario to come out with a coinciding concealer for the foundation. So this is what it looks like. And I'm a big fan of the foundation. I think it's a beautiful foundation. So I am very excited to try the concealer, and I have high standards for this. So I'm hoping it looks good underneath my eyes, but I think this is going to add the coverage that I wanted from the stick foundation. So anyway, so let's go ahead and apply this. I'm very, very excited. I can already tell it definitely is very opaque and has more coverage. So I didn't want to, oh, it absorbs right away. That looks really nice. But I kind of need this to be a bit more damp. So this can, I don't know. I just haven't really been loving my complexion products lately, but that actually looks, yeah, that looks better. I needed to dampen the sponge a little bit. This doesn't look too high coverage at all. This like absorbs right into the foundation. So, but it gives like more coverage than the foundation was. I don't like how the foundation moves around my product on my nose though. Like, I'm not feeling that. So I don't know if I really love this foundation enough to keep it. I've loved a lot more stick foundations in the past. But I don't know, I just can't really get it to work for my skin. But it looks good, but I'm not like completely obsessed and saying that I need to keep this. So I don't know if I might just return it. But I really like how the concealer looks. So let's just do one eye first because I don't know how fast this dries down. So let's go ahead and blend that out. But I don't know if it also might just be my, oh my god, that blends out so easily. And that looks really, really good. That looks really good. It's not like super duper high coverage. It's like the perfect amount of medium coverage that I like. But I've also really been obsessed with the Nude Makeup Forever concealer that I kind of compare everything to that. And this kind of almost has the same consistency. And I can already tell that this is lighter weight than the Fenty Beauty concealer. So I do really like how it looks. It looks really nice underneath the eyes. And it blends out so seamlessly. Yeah, I really like this concealer. That looks so good. And again, it blends out really easily. And I think it reminds me of like how easy the Lancome concealer blends out. I kind of compare every single concealer to the blendability of the Lancome one because that one is like literally my fastest, easiest, most blendable concealer. And y'all know how much I love the Teen Idol line from Lancome. But that looks really nice. I would definitely say it's more matte than the Makeup Forever one. The Makeup Forever one is just so naturally beautiful, and that one blends out so easily. I think I'm going to use my Becca powder today because I really like this one. And I like it more than the Rare Beauty or the, yeah, that looks really nice. I love this powder. And the House Labs one, because the House Labs one isn't really a setting powder. It's more so like a blurring powder. But that looks really nice. I am really liking how this looks. And it gave me the coverage that I wanted from the foundation. The foundation's good, but I still don't like what it's doing on my nose. And it's done that both times I've used it. And I've tried like not making my sponge too damp or making it too dry, and I still feel like I have the same dryness on my nose. So that's what it looks like with setting powder. Let me just go ahead and show you guys what the foundation looks like with setting it, and then after that I'm just going to finish up my look. I just want you guys to see how the complexion looks with it being set. and I do like it. But I don't really love the foundation, but the concealer looks really good. Um, it's not like the most perfecting concealer though. Like I can definitely see like some of my imperfections here, but it looks really naturally beautiful underneath the eyes. So I don't really mind that because it just looks so nice and it blended out so easily. And it's very creamy, but it has like its own full coverage to it. And I feel like this would be a really beautiful, like, buildable concealer for me. So far, I really like this, and I already like this more than the Fenty Beauty concealer. So, yeah, that looks really nice. Definitely like the concealer. I'm a fan. So we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and then I'll tell you guys what I use. Oh, wait, let's do the rest of the eyes first, and then we'll finish up the face. So for the eyes, I think I'm going to go into that shade Mesh again on my lower lash line. And then for the inner corners, I really want to use the shade Sheen. It just looks like such a beautiful sparkly inner corner highlight. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. There's not really that many lighter tone shimmers in here either for the inner corner, which usually she puts more inner corner highlights in her palettes, but that's not a big deal. So we're going to use the shade Sheen. Every time I say that, the shade Sheen, I have to like slow myself down and not say shade Sheen. So yeah, that looks beautiful. I love her super light shimmer shades as well. Probably hers and ColourPop are like my favorite light shimmers for the inner corner. They just always like pop and look so stunning. That looks stunning. And it blended so beautifully into my skin. We're just going to go ahead and apply that. Hopefully this clip isn't too long. I think this whole thing is going to be a half hour. And then hopefully my clip tomorrow will only be like 10-15 minutes because I'm only doing the eyeshadow application tomorrow. I'm getting hungry though. Probably going to have a snack before I go to my boyfriend's house because I'm just going to his house today. I'm going to pick us up food. We're going to get tacos from our new favorite taco place. It's called Lucharitos. And oh my god, it is so good. Their tacos are bomb. The quality of their meat is just amazing. So that's why we keep on going back there. This is now I think the third time we're going to be getting food from them. We just started getting food from them recently, but I wanted tacos today. So yeah, let me go ahead and wait, hold on. We didn't do the lower lash line. Where is your head, Caitlin? You know what? Let's go into Stone because that one's a bit more pigmented than Mesh. Mesh is kind of like a super light crease shade, so we need something a little bit deeper for the lower lash line. Even though this one's not that much darker, I feel like it has a bit more pigmentation. So yeah, so far I like the palette. I don't know if I'm absolutely head over heels for it, but it's really nice. I mean, I always know I'm gonna enjoy her palettes. I just kind of wish there was a bit more definition in the matte selection. So originally I was going to be ready around 3 and then just leave. But my boyfriend said he wants me to be here at 4. And I was thinking about going to Sephora first anyway. So I might just do that and then pick up the food and then head to his area. Because I want to exchange the Fenty Beauty concealer already. That looks really nice. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and finish up the face off camera, and then I'll tell you guys what I use. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and finish up the face. I forgot that I have a new blush to use with you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply this real quick. So I got this in my birthday set. So I got this little mini Ilia cream blush stick with the Ilia mascara, and this is actually the mascara I used today. But I haven't used the blush yet, so I think I'm just gonna swipe it on, I guess, and maybe just blend it out with my fingers. I also forgot I was going in with a cream blush today. That looks like a freaking patchy mess. What is going on with that? I really think it's the foundation, you guys. Like, I don't know if I'm really a fan of it. Like, it's that okay, that looks better, but it's making my skin like so dry underneath around my cheek area that's not really applying this blush as well as I would like it to. So I don't know if I'm like a huge fan. I don't think it's the blush either. I think the blush is fine. I really think it's the foundation. So I'm not really obsessed with the way it makes my skin look. Like, it makes it look hella dry. Yeah, like, what the heck is going on? Like, it's just making the blush, like, sit right on top of my skin. Maybe I shouldn't have used a new blush today, but that shouldn't make a difference. I really don't think it's the blush. I really think it's the foundation. So, I don't think I'm a fan. It's so weird because, like, I really thought I was going to love it more because a lot of people do, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me. Like, that is taking so long to get my blush to look good. Like, the blush is a bit dry though, but I don't think it's the blush that's making it this difficult to blend out. And it blends out actually really nicely. But, like, I have to build this up like a ton just to get it to look good. I don't really know, you guys. That's, like, annoying me. It shouldn't take this long. Like, again, the blush isn't like the creamiest stick blush I've ever tried, honestly, but it looks so weird. Yeah, it's definitely the foundation that's making it look weird. But I think that's a nice blush color, so that's very bizarre. I really don't think it's the blush. So let me go ahead and finish up the rest of my face. Okay, you guys, so this is the finished look. So here are the eyes, the cheeks, and the lips. So for the rest of my face, I went in with my LA Girl liner in the shade brown on the waterline. And then, like I said, I used the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara on the top lashes, and then my Maybelline Lash Discovery, as per usual, on my lower lash line. And then for my bronzer, I wanted to go in with the ColourPop Cream Bronzer Stick in the shade Laguna Beach. So I just used that to bronze up my skin. And then for the blush, like I said, I went in with the Ilia blush. This is the shade At Last, and this is one of their multi-sticks. And then for my highlight, I wanted to go into my ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in the shade You're a Catch. This is one of my favorite, like, pinkier, nudish highlighters, so I thought it would be perfect for this look. And this is one of their best Super Shocks in this packaging. Then I just set my face with my Do It spray and filled up in my brows with the ColourPop Brow Gloss Gel. And then I used the Bite Beauty, what is this called? Power Matte Creamy Matte Lip Crayon. Why would they have to say matte twice? Power Move Creamy Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Sugarcane. You can't even get this anymore because Bite Beauty is not available anymore in Sephora. But yeah, so far I really love how this look turned out. I think the eyeshadow is really pretty. It's a lot more of a softer look that I'm used to from Natasha Denona. I think it's very pretty on the eyes. Once I finished it, then I realized that I still really love her eyeshadows, so I'm very, very excited to dive into this palette again tomorrow. And as far as the foundation goes, I'm honestly not really obsessed with this. I don't think it looks that great on my skin. It looks great on camera, but in person, it looks so dry on my nose, and it really is clinging to all of my dryness around this area and around where the blush was. And again, I don't think that it was the blush that was a problem. I think it's the foundation. And when I look at it up close, it doesn't look good around my nose area, and it's emphasizing a lot of my pores here and around here. You guys can't really tell on camera, but you guys can see the dryness on my nose. And it looks good on my forehead, but I am getting, it is settling into my fine lines already in my forehead. And it's kind of settling into my crease lines on my face. And I mean my smile lines. It just looks very dry. So I'm not really into it. I don't really like it that much. And it's also like making this part of my face very dry as well. I mean, I deal with dryness around there a lot, but I don't think it's the concealer because I think the concealer looks better than the foundation does. So I don't really know. And I like the concealer. I think the concealer looks really good. I don't even know where I put it. Where did I even put it? I'm so done with my makeup today. You have no idea. But I don't know where I put it. I think it's right here. Yeah, I really like the concealer. I'm going to use it tomorrow when I go out to dinner with the Makeup by Mario foundation because I'm really dying to use the two together. But I already like that foundation more so than this stick foundation. So yeah, I will see you guys for another look with the palette tomorrow. I'm only going to be doing the eyeshadow, the foundation, and concealer application on camera, so it won't be as long. So bye. Hey there guys. So today we're going to do the second look for the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. And today I'm getting ready to go out with my family and my friend and my brother's friend for my birthday dinner. We're gonna go get hibachi, so I'm very excited. So I needed to wash my hair. This is obviously not what I'm wearing to dinner. This was literally my pajama shirt, so I just took a shower. So yeah, so anyway, let's go into the palette. So today I want to work with the warmer shades. So I'm gonna go into Wit, Vague, and then Silhouette, so we can get the crease started. I don't know who's talking to who right now. So anyway, we're gonna start off with Wit. So I already primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and I used the Amico Lay lip oil, which has become like my favorite lip oil ever. It's so good. And then I just used my Dior powder to set my eyes. So it's a pretty pigmented eyeshadow. I like that. Just trying to go over the crease a bit more to bring it a little higher. I've been trying to do that more because everybody tells me like you need to bring your crease shades higher, so just sometimes it's hard for me to get them more pigmented up here. I don't know why, but that's a pretty pigmented shade. So that's actually a lot more orange than I thought it was gonna be. So, but I really like it. Y'all know I love orangey matte shades, so it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, yesterday I just chilled with my boyfriend, and today was just a very relaxing day. I haven't left the house because I just did not want to go anywhere until dinner time because I had a lot of plans this weekend for my birthday, and sometimes you just need to give your body a little bit of a break. So nothing really interesting happened today. Okay, I need a little bit more just right up here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Why is that one going higher than the other one? I don't know what is going on right now. You know, like, what happens when you don't do your makeup for, like, at the same time every day? Sometimes, like, when you do it later in the day, it's like, what the hell are you doing with your eyeshadow? It's like, that's how I'm feeling right now. I can't just blend out one shade. It's like, I forgot how to do my makeup already. But it's okay. It'll come together in the end. So now I'm going to use the shade Vague, which is that, like, brownish matte shade, and we're just going to build that up in the crease. So I did watch Morgan Turner's review yesterday because I had already used the palette once. Um, Mine's probably going to be up tomorrow, but, you know, she definitely gets a lot more viewers than I do. But she was saying basically all of the same things that I was thinking about this palette too. She was like, most of the mattes are very mid-toned, and the only shade you have to build up depth is the shade Silhouette. And she thought that Silhouette wasn't dark enough for the depth that she was looking for, and I thought the same exact thing when I used it. And then she also said that she was hoping that there could have been at least maybe 2 more mattes, but she also said that she could have done with like a black. And I thought the same thing too, so that I was hoping that there was going to be a black in here, so oh well, not a huge deal. Natasha Denona's palettes are still beautiful and very easy to work with, so it doesn't really bother me that much because I'm still going to get beautiful looks out of this palette. I don't know what's going on with my blending today. Ignore this. That'll be fixed when I clean up the eyeshadow. So, yeah, I'm excited for dinner. Like I said, we're going to get hibachi. I have been dying to go back to this place for the hibachi because I've actually never had hibachi with my family there before. We only go to the like most Japanese restaurants that have hibachi either have like regular dining or they have the hibachi section, and hibachi's obviously with all like the food being cooked for you in front of you and everything, but we've never done that. So I'm very excited because I went to this place. I've been going to this place for years. Like, we found it like almost 5 years ago, and it's our favorite sushi spot. But we usually always order to go from there. We don't normally go that often, but you know, since this was for my birthday, I did go to this place a couple of weeks back with my friend for dinner, and we did get the hibachi because I'm like, you know, I've never tried the hibachi before. Let's do it. And it was just so delicious that I have been craving it since I had it. Like, that's how good it was. So I can't wait. So let me just put some glitter glue on real quick. Okay, so now for the lid. I was swatching the shades last night again to see which one I wanted to use today, and I think I really, really want to use the shade Muse. It's such a stunning, like, super sparkly shimmer, and I think that this is the... Ooh, oh god, that's so pretty. This is the same formula that was in the Yucca palette. I think that this was a new formula that she introduced in the Yucca palette. And then in this palette, the shade that I used yesterday, Mia, is the new, like, super sparkly shimmer formula. And there's, like, 3 of those in here. Mia, Delilah, and Sheen. I almost used Sheen today, but then I swatched this one and I'm like, oh my god, it's so pretty. And I absolutely love this formula from the Yucca palette, so I was like, yeah. It's just such a stunning, like, super sparkly champagne color. And it's so beyond pretty. Like, look at that. That's so stunning. Ah, it's so pretty. Oh my god. This is why I love Natasha Denona. Is that right there. That right there. That is so beautiful. Oh my god, so pretty. And then I'm just going to take that shade Fair again, which basically just blends in. It's not really the lightest shade ever, to be honest. I thought that it was, but then, again, I watched Morgan Turner's review. Oh my god, I'm already dipping into the wrong shade, Caitlin. Good job. Good job. And she said it wasn't light enough for her. And she's a little bit deeper than I am. So, I mean, like, she's not, like super tan, but she's not super fair like me. And she said it was actually too dark for her. But I like this because it's not, like, super... It's not like I can't get it to work, so... Alright, so now I'm going to clean up the eyeshadow and go dry my hair, and then we'll come back and do the foundation and concealer, because I want to use the Makeup by Mario foundation and concealer for you guys. And then we will just finish up the eyes. Okay, so I went ahead and dried my hair and got changed. I'm just wearing like this blue tank top dress. It's really cute. Like, it's not really like that dressy. It's just a cute dress to wear. Okay, so my brother is like such a dumbass. Like, he doesn't realize that my mom is on the phone, and like she just like closed the door on him because he's just so fucking annoying because the dogs are barking and he's like, hi. Like, he needs to fucking chill out for a minute. Like, it's always like fucking chaos when he comes home. It's like ridiculous. Wait, hold on one second. I just need some saline. Okay, so I went ahead and primed with my Do It spray and the e.l.f. putty primer, the new liquid one, and now we're gonna go in with the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. I love this foundation, and you guys will probably see that it will look a lot better than the stick foundation that I used yesterday. I pretty much determined that I'm gonna return it. Both times I've used it, I mean, sometimes foundations grow on me. Like this one, I didn't automatically love when I first used it. Same thing with the Valentino foundation. But then over time, I ended up loving this one. So sometimes it's not like love after first use for me, but like these I can make work because they're liquid foundations, and I don't find that they just sit like super dry on top of my skin. I also put moisturizer on after I got out of the shower, because you're usually always supposed to do that after you like wash your hair, especially. I always put moisturizer on my face after I wash my hair. I'm also using a different sponge than yesterday, but again, that doesn't really affect the way that this is being applied because it's a liquid foundation, and I think just my skin is better with liquids right now than like sticks or, you know, other kinds of foundations. So yeah, I probably would even do better with like a mousse-like foundation, you know? I don't know why this is already like dry though, like the sponge. Okay, that's better. But yeah, that looks really, really good as usual. And it's not super dry on my nose. Woohoo! But the sponge, I feel like I need a new sponge set already. Like, I feel like this sponge is like kind of dried out, but it's fine. It still applied it just fine. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Let me just turn up the light, because I can't see. That's way better. Yeah. That looks really good. Really, really good. Okay. And now for my concealer, I'm going to go into the Makeup by Mario. Very excited to use these two together. Pretty much what Morgan Turner said, because I also watched her review on the concealer, I think right before I used it, or maybe right after, I can't remember, but she got up like 3 reviews on products that I really wanted to see, all at like in like the past 2 days. And I ordered all 3 products. Like, I got this, I got the Natasha Denona palette, and I got the what the heck is going on with this? And I got the Tower 28 concealer. I'm waiting for that one. But I knew I was gonna get that concealer. This is blending out beautifully with this. I am very impressed, and it added even more coverage with the foundation on my nose. So that's also good. And it's not like competing with covering my nose. It's actually just blending right into it rather than like the Fenty one just like sitting on top of my nose. That looks really nice. My nose still looks a bit dry, but it's okay because that's not really much of a concern right now to me. Okay, now we're gonna do the concealer on my eyes, and I was really impressed with this one yesterday, so I want to add a little bit more because I think that this concealer is very buildable and it just blends out so easily. And this is more of the concealer sponge from ColourPop, so I wanted to see, yeah, it blends out so nice. So I feel like the new like kind of trend with concealers right now is very cream-like, very easy to blend out, and not really too heavy coverage. Because I find that this is actually pretty similar feeling to the Makeup Forever one that I love so much now. Because that's been my favorite concealer since I tried it. And I feel like this one kind of has a similar kind of consistency, and I'm so here for it. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to put on just a little bit more. I usually always go around this area just to, you know, brighten it up a bit more. And yeah, that looks amazing. And even though Morgan Turner said this looks more like makeup-y, I think it looks stunning. And I really like how it looks with the Makeup by Mario foundation. I knew they were going to be a match made in heaven. But that's also like kind of rare for me to love the coinciding concealer as well as the foundation. Like lately, I really like this concealer and I really love the Makeup Forever concealer with the Makeup Forever foundation as well. So it just looks beautiful. So let me just show you guys set real quick, but I'm already like way more obsessed with my complexion today. But I've been loving this foundation ever since I got it, so I'm not surprised that I like the concealer together. I was, you know, hoping that I would because like I said, I don't always love the coinciding concealer with the foundation. Sometimes I either love the foundation or I love the concealer. Like most of the time it's usually I love the foundation but hate the concealer. Like with the YSL All Hours concealer, I didn't like that one. The Dior Forever foundation and concealer, loved the foundation, hated the concealer. So even though most people love that one, and then I'm just very lightly setting my face with my Backstage powder. And that looks really nice. That looks beautiful, actually. That looks so good. Do you see like how perfected my face looks? But it's like so skin-like and natural looking. Chef's kiss. It looks beautiful. So I am very happy with this. I'm just gonna spray a little. I feel like they changed the spray on this. And it comes out like when it used to be like such a beautifully fine mist. So it's just a little bit annoying, but it makes my skin feel so hydrated. Okay, let's go back into the palette and just finish up the inner corner and lower lash line because I need to hurry up because it's now 5 o'clock. Of course, I thought I had way more time, but that's never the case. So for my inner corner, I want to go into the shade Whisper, and then for my lower lash line, I think I'm just going to take the shade Vague. The shade Vague. Oh my god, we're rhyming already. Holy shitballs. Okay, so let's go into Whisper. Hopefully it's not too cool tone, and hopefully it's bright enough, but I think it'll be really pretty. Yeah, that's very pretty. Oh yeah, that's perfect. It's like way lighter than I thought on the eyes than it looks in the pan. So that is very pretty. And I'm going to do the same over here. I think I might take a bit of sheen and just pop it right over. Oh my god. Eye goo. Anybody else's eyeshadows ruined when the eye goo comes out, you know? So friggin' annoying. So I've been loving the show called Barry. I don't know if y'all have watched it, but it's literally hilarious and I can't stop watching. I'm obsessed. I watched like an episode and a half before this. It's so good. I love it. Yeah, I think, oh my god, that looks so pretty. I want a tiny bit of sheen, like, right in this area. Because I love doing that. Just to add a little bit more sparkle. Super pretty. It's, like, very light. But, like, it's a very subtle, sparkly hint. And I'm obsessed. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's stunning. Okay, and then for the lower lash line, like I said, we're just gonna go into Vague, which is just a nice medium brown. And that looks super pretty. I actually like this look way more than yesterday's, but I am a warm toned eyeshadow girl. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do, I don't know if I want to do my brown liner. I'm probably just gonna do my brown liner because my Makeup by Mario brown liner. Because I was thinking about black, but I think the brown will look better with this. My mom has to feed the dogs soon because we're gonna leave in like 45 minutes, so. Alright, that's it. It looks beautiful. So I'm just gonna clean up the eyeshadow and then I'll tell you guys what I used for the rest of the look. Okay guys, so I wanted to tell you guys about the final look. I kind of just had to leave after I filmed that last clip, so my makeup isn't looking the absolute greatest right now, but I still think it looks really pretty. I still really like how the eyeshadow turned out. I think it was super pretty. So for my waterline, I used the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade brown. You guys know the Makeup by Mario liners are like my favorite, so I just used that. And then I just primed my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer. And then I used the Valentino mascara. I've been absolutely obsessed with this mascara. It just makes I was about to say my mascara, but my lashes look really, really long and curled. And I absolutely love this mascara. And then I used my Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then for my bronzer, I used the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer in the shade Naked Desire, and I absolutely love this bronzer. It always goes on so nice. And then for my blush, I wanted to go in with my favorite luxury blush that I own, which is the Gucci blush. I've just been obsessed with this blush this year, and I use it for almost every special occasion. So this is the Gucci Cheeks and Eyes Powder Luminous Matte Blush in the shade Tender Apricot. And it's a beautiful blush. I applied it kind of really pigmented, but it kind of like fades into this really pretty apricot color. I love this formula, and it's just so smooth and beautiful on the cheeks. And then for my highlight, I used my Dior highlighter. This is the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer in the shade 01. I don't think you can get this one anymore. They replaced this one with a different shade, but this one is absolutely gorgeous, and I always use this like almost every time I go out for a special occasion. So I absolutely love using Dior's highlighters and the Gucci blush for any special occasion pretty much. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, and then I set my brows with my e.l.f. Brow, of course. And then for my lips, I use the Pat McGrath lip liner in the shade Structure, which is usually my go-to lip liner for any special occasion. And then for my lips, I went in with the Patrick Ta lip cream. I probably should have applied this on camera, but I forgot. But I'm really enjoying this formula, and this is the second time I've worn it. So this is the Patrick Ta. I cannot read anything tonight. I don't even know. It's the lip cream in the shade She's Secure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions with 2 looks on the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I really am enjoying it. I knew that I would love it, so I can't wait to use it more. I'm probably going to be using it for the rest of this week until I get the Blend Bunny palette on Saturday, but I can't wait to use more of the shimmers. I think that this look turned out really pretty. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I'm a little bit buzzed still, so I'm going to go watch TV shows with my family. We're going to watch Only Murders in the Building, which I've been wanting to watch for days. So yeah, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great night and day or whatever. And I love you guys, and I just hope you're having a good day. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, bye!